Well, thousands of fans are gearing up for the Formula One Grand Prix this weekend, which is returning to Melbourne for the first time since 2019. And no one is more excited than Perth-born McLaren driver Daniel Ricciardo as the 3-year wait to race in his home comes to an end. Before practice gets underway, I spoke to Dan and asked him first about how he was feeling about the upcoming weekend.
It's good to be home. Good to be home in Oz, and well, it's been already a pretty warm welcome. There's been lots of a crowd or fans here already for the weekend. So, yeah, very happy to be here and feeling good.
Melbourne Grand Prix though hasn't been kind to you. You're yet to get a podium finish yet. Is it a monkey on your back?
No, not at all. It's the way it goes. Like out of all the races I've done, I've had, certainly some highs, but naturally with the sport, probably more lows. And it's a sport where like a win ratio is not like a team sport where you might win 50% of the time. It's unfortunately not like that with our sport, unless you're, I don't know if anyone has a 50% record. I don't think they do. So it is what it is. Obviously, I don't feel it's like personal to a home race, and there's like bad luck surrounding this Grand Prix for me or anything. It is what it is, and I'll just try and make it better this year and try to get a good result and turn it around.
What would it mean to you to win this weekend?
A pretty phenomenal turnaround, because we've been pretty far from it the first 2 races this year. So I think that would be something in itself. But let's say, speaking more just kind of broadly about a home win, it's the one race like any driver wants to win. It's the home one, because you got the most support here. I could only imagine how everyone would react, or at least most people would react. It would be pretty amazing, and I think, a party would go on for till the early hours of Monday morning, I'm sure.
Daniel, you're always smiling. You're a happy guy. I mean, what would you do if you won a home Grand Prix?
I don't know. As you say, I do smile a lot. I am pretty happy, so I don't know if it could get bigger at times, but I would say it would just last longer. I'd probably sleep with a smile, wake up with a smile for the next probably 7 days straight.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much pressure though, is there? When was the last time an Australian won Melbourne Grand Prix? Was it 40 odd years ago? That was well before you were born.
Yeah, before my time. But honestly, I don't see it as a pressure or anything. I think I would feel pressure if every year an Australian came and won this race. Then I'd be like, all right, now I've got to win.
You've had a couple of podium finishes since you left Red Bull, but not as much when you were with them. Do you regret leaving them?
I don't regret it. I'm well aware of, let's say, the outside and the questions I'll get, and of course, they've won more races than I have, since I've left and joined, whether it was Renault or McLaren up until now. But there's, again, it's not black and white, and there's so many other factors. And I think at the time as well, my growth as a driver, I didn't feel like I was going to take another step being there. And there was some personnel in the team that were changing. So let's say my role in the team, I felt was, there was a little bit of an instability. And I was, let's say, concerned if I stayed, what the outcome would have been. So it was just a timing thing.
The Netflix series Drive to Survive, it certainly brought more fans to the sport. It's even made it a little more mainstream than it ordinarily was. As a driver, as one of the biggest stars of the show, what do you make of it? Do you like it?
It's been positive. I would say I like most of it. I think it's more, so obviously Australia, it's always been big, at least for myself, obviously coming from home. Europe's always been fairly big because of, that's the home of F1, but other places around the world now where we go, particularly the States, it's I don't know, tripled, quadrupled. It's the awareness of the sport and the fan base is huge. So there's other countries we go now where it's it's pretty real. So, and it's not from a fame point of view. I think it's cool or great, but it's more that it's a sport that I've followed and loved my whole life. So to be able to share that with more people and kind of show off the sport to more of the world and to see that they also enjoy it. Like that element of it makes me happy.
Just want to close here, Daniel, by asking, you're not old by any stretch, but you're not a kid either when you see the kids coming through the sport these days. What weighs on your mind now at this stage of your career?
I don't know, like, I've definitely, I know myself that, so I've been doing it 10 years, so I want to say very, very likely not going to do another 10. So yeah, I'm in that second phase in my career for sure. But I think it doesn't change the way I approach the racing and go about it. I think I still believe I can do it. I still believe I can race at the front, at the top, and win more races. So I think the day that diminishes is then the day that you'll see me, eventually hang up the helmet and do something else. But I think most importantly, that fire is still in my belly and that belief is there. So other than the realization that, yeah, I'm not 21 anymore, nothing else really changes.
What do you make of the youngsters coming through?
Yeah, I was one of them, so there's always going to be some, spring chickens and young roosters, I guess, as we say. So it is what it is, and I think that's where you've always got to be open-minded. And just because I've been here longer than many others on the grid now, doesn't mean that I know it all, So I think just being open-minded, be willing to learn and keep improving. So yeah, try not to let the ego or my pride get in the way of getting better.
Okay. Well, Daniel Ricciardo, appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for joining us and good luck this weekend. The whole nation is behind you.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Well, you sure are. Good bloke that Daniel Ricciardo is.